Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all other things yarn. I am Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarny adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome, everyone. Today is Wednesday, August 7th. And we're in episode 69. There is no admin things, so we're going to get right into it. If you are new, welcome. Thank you for stopping by and checking this podcast out. I hope you find something you love. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. I do a traditional podcast style, and I name every episode after a song title that fits my life or making the last few weeks since I've podcast last. And I do have a Spotify playlist, which is linked below if you would like to follow that playlist of every song since I started podcasting. So this week, I named the podcast Calm Down. It is a song by Rima featuring Selena Gomez. And so that is added to my playlist below. And let's get into it. All right, I know people say this all the time when they're podcasting. I feel like it's going to be a short one because I haven't touched a lot of projects. But let's see what I have finished. I only have finished technically two things, one thing to show you. So I finished my July DVD socks. These are just vanilla socks. These were knit top down. I cast on with an alternating cable cast on, and then I follow my free pattern on Ravelry, which is basic top-down socks. For that, I use the shadow wrap heel, and yeah, that's it. This is the colorway, the 7-Year Itch, again by Vista Dyeworks. I'm participating in the all-year knit along to knit a pair of socks a month, and even though usually I have no problem. The last few months I've been dragging my feet, and you'll see in whips that this month is no exception. So I really need to get my sock mojo back in a big way because this is the last year she's hosting this make along, and I really want to make it all the way to the end of the year. The other finished objects I will tell you about, but I don't have here. I am teaching a sock class next Saturday, so it would be Saturday, August 17th at Arkansas Yarn Co. All year long, Lori has been highlighting different types of heels. So my friend Tori and I have been alternating teaching classes on heel types. And so this month I am teaching the mock short row heel. I myself had never done this heel. So it's interesting. I made the sample for it. It's at the shop. It has the same basically look to a short row heel like this, but it is not a short row. So if you're curious, look it up. There are videos on it. So I made that sample, and now I need to write up the instructions for that class next week. So if you're local-ish to Arkansas Yarn Co. in Malvern, feel free to sign up for that class. It's still a week out. All right, so that is all my finished objects. And let's see. New cast-ons, same thing. My August DVD socks. This is always the bag I use because it is my favorite sock bag. It is by Trappings and Trinkets. I got this at the Fiber Universe in Peoria, Illinois. Love this bag. It is the perfect size. I have my caked up yarn here. So this is Desert Vista Dyeworks in the colorway Neon Cotton Candy. I actually have the white. I was doing the heel mock-up also. I always keep 2 different needles in my sock bag. I keep the 9-inch circulars, which I use for the majority. But when I cast on, I like doing magic loop. And this is just a 24-inch code. What am I saying? 24-inch cable. I feel that is a sufficient size for one sock, no problem, with that not excess cord in your way. So when I do the heel, you can do it on a 9-inch circular. I feel more comfortable doing it on this. And then of course, when I go down to the toes, I need this. So I just always keep one of each in this bag. Like I said, this is my favorite sock bag. I always know it's going to be socks. So, and I always keep a crochet hook in case I drop a stitch that I can easily pick it up. And here is the tag. Again, I am just doing a vanilla sock, and all that means is there's no patterning to it. I am still in the cuff. This is what I'm saying about usually the first week, I'm nearly done with the sock, or I'm at least past the heel. Yeah. I feel like I've bitten off a little bit more than I can chew in my knitting stuff lately. So yeah, so this, of course, if I'm to remain eligible for the yearly, I have to have both socks, one pair done at the end of the month. So that is that. Okay, that is all my cast-ons. My cat is crying in the other room, so she may be coming in here shortly. You may hear that. All right, so I have actively worked on 3 whips. So let's start the one that I actually said I worked on last time and I didn't show, but I feel like I added enough to show a little bit this time. This is in my woolly bean bag. I love this fabric. This is my rocket tee. So just stockinette body, and I am not striping with mohair or anything like that. I'm just doing one color. So I didn't show it last time, but I feel like I've made enough progress I can show it. So here is my yarn. It is Chelsea Luxe. It is fingering weight. It is the color Spring Chicken. All right. So, and the reason, again, I talked about this last time I made a bunch of progress is because I took it to the movie theater. Instead of bringing a sock, I decided to bring this because, again, I'm on stockinette body island. And I just get so bored with just stockinette after so long. I can't do it. So I'm like, oh, I need to go to another movie. So I did go to another movie. I went and saw Twisters, which was excellent. Super fun. So you can see my little fish that was gifted to me by Tristan. So I've gotten quite a few inches on this. And look at these stitch stoppers I got from Arkansas Yarn Co. They are so cute. A little bee, and then this one says, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." I just think this is the cutest. So yeah, I wonder if I don't have a tape measure with me. I feel like I'm about ready to do the little bit of ribbing and nearly finish this. That would feel like a win with all the things that have been on my needles. I have really been working on garments and planning on working on even more garments. And, you know, there's only so much time and the realization of when am I actually going to get all these done? But that's all I seem to want to work on right now. So I would love to get that done. It's so close. I've said that, I know, so many times, but it really is so close. And that pattern is by Tanis Lavallee. I love that pattern. I've made a rocket tee before. All right, so let's get into the 2 I've made the most progress on, that I've worked on the most. So this one is in my Barley Purls library bag. I love this bag. And this is my Mizzoni vest. So this knit, I would say more than any other knit I've been working on the last 2 weeks, is the knit I want to be working on all the time. This one is bringing me definitely the most joy. If you'll recall, when I cast this on and I was doing, now I can't remember the specialty cast on it had. It took some time to do it. Tubular cast on, 1x1 tubular cast on, and I took the time and I did it. I'm glad I did. It looks fantastic, but it seemed like it took forever just to get this done in this pattern. But I knew it was worthwhile because once I got into the pattern, I wouldn't want to stop knitting it. I, of course, like fingering weight yarn. I love sock yarn, sure. I have a real hard time with fingering weight sweaters. Obviously, you see me working on the Rocket Tee, which is also fingering weight. I, of course, like the feel of them, but they feel like I'm not a super fast knitter, so it feels to me like they just take so long for me to make, especially because I'm not a monogamous knitter. So it just, I feel like if I start like a summer garment, it's going to take me all summer to actually finish that garment in fingering weight. So I really struggle with that. But this one, I am now in, the colors. And here's where I was last time. So I was just starting it. And now you will see this is supposed to be 5 colors. I do have 5 50-gram balls of colors I'm using, which is from Knitty McPurly, her Shopaversary set from 2023, so you can no longer get it. I'd also ordered 2 full skeins of other colors for her in case I was playing some yarn chicken. The colors I got could easily go in. And the great thing about Mizzoni style is it's the chevrons, but it's never like perfectly matched. Like you see the first chevron section, there's quite a bit of rose. And then the next section is this cream with some green, and it's not that many rows. And now I'm in this light kind of like robin's egg blue. So yeah, the striping sequence is uneven, and that's the whole point. So I thought, okay, as long as I have the same base of yarn, I could easily swap in yarns, no problem. So I'm excited. I posted this on my Instagram. I love this so much because it's a 2-row repeat, which easy. You are doing chevrons, which I love, and you're changing colors. So again, it's just hits all the marks for me for being a joyful knit. I love this. It's going to be a sleeveless tank top. Fantastic. Can't wait to wear this. And even if it's, well, I live in Arkansas, y'all, so it's going to be hot here for a long time. But even if I got this done when it wasn't hot, it's still a great layering piece. Like, I have no problem wearing this in January. So love, 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 love this knit. Yes. All right. I have one more project I've been working on, which is my test knit. This is in a Mrs. Brown's Bags bucket. This is my test knit for Tristan of Dragon Hoard Yarns. So we'll talk goals. I'm sorry, I totally forgot to mention at the beginning. I will have timestamps for each section in case you want to skip around. Being that this is the beginning of August, I will have a goals section this month at the end. So my goal for last month was to finish the body of the sweater. It did not happen. I may have talked about, I think I did talk about last time. This is my first time using Boucle yarn. So let's see, this is the front. This is a test knit for basically a pajama set that Tristan's putting together. The pattern will come with the shorts pattern also. I'm not going to be testing the shorts. I Like I said, I feel like I bit off a little bit more I can chew with making a pattern for the retreat coming up, and then my sock goal, and then this test knit, and my emotional state lately with life. Like I feel like I just want to work on whatever I want to work on. So I need to not take on any more definite responsibilities. So I do want to eventually make the shorts. I got enough yarn to hopefully do that with the same color. So this color, let me tell you what it is. This, I got, Lori dyed for me. This is in her AYC Boucle. This colorway, like I mentioned last time, I, again, forgot the name, but she hasn't dyed any more of this exact color. But it's similar to Party in my Mailbox, which is one of her regular colors. But she said she tweaked it a little bit, so she was calling it something else. I think it was still Party in the title. And then this bright pink that I love is Roller Derby. So now it looks finished right here. So this is done separately and bound off. I did this last night. I bound off. So now I am on the back. I've done the striping. I'm now in the ribbing on the back. So I don't have much left of the body, but I still have 2 full length sleeves. And the reason I say it like that is because if you've been around for a while, you know I'm super hot-blooded, and rarely do I make any sweater garment with full length sleeves. I think the only one I have is my Elton cardigan, because it's a cardigan, but you can take it on and off. And full length sleeves aren't my jam. But since it's a test knit, I will do it. Or I will message Tristan and be like, hey, can I do it this way? Which, this is my first time test knitting for Tristan. And of course, I have met her and she is a delight. She is such a sweetheart. And Jessa, who works with me at Arkansas Yarn Co., has test knit many things for Tristan. And she has said that Tristan is absolutely fantastic to test knit under. She is super communicative, and she is great about, if you want to do other things, just have a conversation with her. So I'm sure that if I really get to the point where I'm like, I cannot do these long sleeves, I'll message her and I'm sure it'll be fine, but not there yet. So hopefully today I will finish off this ribbing and the body will be done. Then I'm going to try it on. I mean, it looks great right now. So this pattern is meant, she wrote it to be meant with up to 20 inches of positive ease. And the reason she did that, as to quote her, is that so that you can be in your pajamas on the couch lounging and eat a bunch of cookies. So that basically it's roomy. So you can be comfy. And it's jammies. So, I mean, you could wear this as a regular sweater and not tell anyone it's jammies. It's adorable. But the problem I'm having with this, for me, is that this yarn is hurting my hands. So usually with a test knit, I will want to sit down and devote hours of a day to work on it. And I can't do that with this because it hurts my hands. Now, I'm going to say up front, that is not due to, Lori's yarn. This yarn is great. And it feels so nice. This is going to be a fantastic sweater. I mean, it's going to be so cozy. I love it. But it's just the nature of the yarn. I'm tensioning my hands tighter around it and grippier because of the yarn. So it's no fault of the pattern. The pattern is fantastic. The yarn is fantastic. It's just I can only devote so much time in intervals at it, which is slowing me down with the knit too, where okay, I need to just work on my test knit. Well, then an hour and a half in, my hands are like, I can't do this. So I have to put it down. So that's where we're at. Loving this knit. It's going to be so, so cozy. And yeah. The test knit is due at the end of the month, but again, I'm not too worried about it. Tristan is awesome, and I'm not worried about it. So that is all that I have worked on. I have so many more whips, but it's pretty much been, that Rocket Tee was just because I went to the theater and watched a movie. Otherwise, it's been my test knit, my DVD socks. Oh, and I have been working on my retreat shawl pattern, which again, I'm not going to show. I did a little teaser on my Instagram. That pattern is being test knit right now by Laura from Knit for Brains, who is going to go to the retreat with us this year. So yay. She is a super speedy knitter. In fact, she got the pattern yesterday, and today I saw a picture of where she was at, and I could not believe it. Like, I just wish, not that I need to be a faster knitter, I just would love the products faster, you know what I mean? It's not a race. I enjoy my stitching time, but I would love to have a product sooner than later. So I have been working a lot on that. So test knit, retreat shawl, DVD all have like timelines attached to them. And then my Mizzoni has been my joy knit. Like when I need to take a break from all the pressure's the wrong word, because I put that on myself. But the timely things that need to be done, I will work on my Mizzoni base to give me the joy back. All right. So before we move on, I do have a couple of podcast highlights this week. So my podcast highlights is always podcasts that are new to me that I have found since last visiting with you here. And I have two this week. So the first one is Caffeinated Cast-Ons, which is Therese, and she is in Northern Texas. And I love her. I think she does it weekly because I've seen quite a few of hers. And one thing I love, she does traditional podcast style, like most of these that I mentioned do. One thing I love about her, at the end of her podcast, she does 3 simple joys. And I mean, we're talking like simple joys. Like, you know, she's like reading and drinking coffee in bed in the morning. Like, I think that is so great, especially where I'm at right now. Sometimes your life is a mess in general, but there's always something joyful and positive you can find if you choose to. So I really love that about Therese. So Caffeinated Cast-Ons. And then the other one is Mystery Mouse, and that is Holly from Colorado. Again, traditional podcast style, mostly knitting, with a couple other things. She really loves books. She actually podcasts in a wall full of, looks like mainly kids' books, school books. She is a homeschooling mom, so really enjoyed hers also. So I will have them linked below if you are looking for new podcasts. Also, speaking of new podcasts, not new, and I'm positive I've mentioned her before, but Amy of Happy Little Yarn. Last year I collaborated with Amy on a stripe along. We're talking about possibly doing it again. Amy has amazingly come up with a spreadsheet of all podcasters. So people have messaged her and be like, hey, you haven't added mine. So she has the podcast name, the person's name who podcasts, what crafts they do, how often they podcast, and then, of course, the links to their YouTube. So if you are a crafty podcast junkie like I am, then definitely go over to Amy's site and follow her on Instagram, because she regularly mentions that spreadsheet. And if you notice maybe your favorite podcasters aren't on there, then definitely let her know that information. So, and down the rabbit hole we go. All right, so I have no spinning this week, but I do have a couple of acquisitions, and then we'll go into goals. So if you were just here for the making part, we are finished with the making. We're going to go into acquisitions, and then we're going to finish up with goals. All right, so acquisitions. So last time I posted, we were midway through the yarn crawl. And I only purchased one other thing at the yarn crawl since my last podcast. So the second weekend of the yarn crawl, Rachel and her mom, excuse me, were there. Rachel is Night Owl Fibers, and they were there for the weekend, which was so nice to meet them and chat. And she was knitting on socks, of course, because she is a self-striping yarn dyer. I'm sorry, my throat's dry. I gotta get a drink. Sorry about that. All right, so I had been eyeing her trunk show that she brought, which was new colors to us. We have, at Arkansas Yarn Co., we have a wall full of Rachel's self-striping, and being a sock lover, of course, I love them. But I was like eyeing her colors, and I was like, there was one I was eyeing. She only brought 4 of each color because that's how the batches she dyes in. And I did an oopsie like Anna did the first weekend with Tristan's yarn. Anna was like, oh, I think I'm going to buy that color. And then she was with me at the checkout, and we saw it get purchased, and then it was sold out. So the one color I really, really wanted, sold out. But it is a fall color, and she said that she is going to have more of it. It was just beautiful. It was very woodsy, and I loved it. But another yarn that I had been eyeing that we had already of hers was her Spooky Fun 2024 colorway. The picture she has this, I'm going to see if I can get a picture of it and put it on the screen here. Her inspiration for this color is the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter. So I love Alice in Wonderland. So I had been eyeing that color, but I didn't know how it was going to knit up. Like I kept looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know. Well, Rachel was knitting on it at the store, and I kept looking at it. I'm like, man, that is really gorgeous. And again, if you've been here a while, you know I'm not a huge purple girl, but I saw it, and I'm like, I want that yarn. And even more so, I want instant gratification. So we have a True Knit circular sock machine at Arkansas Yarn Co. We haven't put things up available to get sock tubes cranked yet, but I was learning how to do it previously from Jessa so that I would be able to crank socks when we start getting that service available. And we had some time, and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I try to, if I buy this yarn and then I just crank it? So I cranked my own sock tube. And here it is. So this is folded in half. So here is 100 grams of goodness. So love it so much. It is in a sock set. We still have plenty of this colorway available at the store. It came with a purple. I'm not going to use this because, again, this is plenty of purple in here for me. I wanted pink. So I went in the back, and we had some minis. In our mini bin, we didn't have any hot pink, but we had one that just hadn't been wound up that was dyed. And so I snagged it. Oh, it's so blown out, but I love it. So I am going to make socks. And Lori said she wanted socks too, and she is not a sock knitter. So I said, well, I'll just make socks for the two of us. This is plenty of yarn. So again, like what you're looking at here folded would be half. I can easily make socks. So yeah, I am going to make socks from that. So I'm super happy with that purchase. I'm bummed I didn't get the other color. What was it called? I'm not going to remember. Yeah. But this is what I got. What else I got from the yarn crawl officially. Oh, here is her tag. Spooky Fun with a purple mini. Yeah. All right. So another thing I got, if you follow Madelinetosh, I mentioned before, when I first learned knitting and was upgrading from craft store yarn to nicer yarn, I had found Madelinetosh. And I actually had signed up for a year-long, I think it's through Jimmy Bean's Wool. They still have it, like a Madelinetosh blanket club, where you'd get a worsted skein every month and make a blanket throughout the year. So I love Madelinetosh. And Madelinetosh right now, I don't know if it's just this calendar year they started doing it. Don't quote me on that. But they have been taking inspiration from each state and dyeing special colorways for each state. So I get the emails, and last week, I think it was last week, this got sent to me super fast. Last week, they came out with the Arkansas color, and it was blue, which is my favorite color. It is definitely coming across like more tealy color. Yeah, that's not really helpful. But anyway, I love it. I don't know what it's going to be because this is worsted. This color is called We Love Yarn with the AR and yarn capitalized. So it'll probably be like a hat or something, but I love it. It's so squishy. It is 200 yards. It is just 100% superwash merino wool. So the other thing they've been coming out when they do the state yarns is they're making little progress keepers with each state's license plate with a different saying on it. And so I looked to see if they had them. And they did. So this is what the Arkansas license plate looks like. There's like, you can't really see it, but like in the middle, there's a diamond for the natural state. And when I looked, they had 4 left, and I'm like, excellent. I'm going to get all 4 for our crew at the yarn shop, and I got 1 for each of us. So I thought that was super cute. Okay, so I got one other thing. And I ordered this from KnitPicks. This kind of order came, I did last minute for 2 reasons, really. So KnitPicks had a week ago or so, had put on their Instagram that they were starting a new program for KnitPicks ambassadors. I really didn't understand what that meant, but if you had a public Yarny account, they were looking for people to promo KnitPicks, and you would get benefits from it. And I'm like, I love KnitPicks. So I applied, and I was chosen to be an ambassador. So for the month of August, I just highlight different KnitPicks pictures to promo them. So I realized I had a lot of KnitPicks like in my leftover stash. Like I've made sweaters and things for KnitPicks, but I didn't really have anything ready to cast on. I did find 3 skeins of yarn I have. I'm going to swatch. I will talk about that in a moment. But I also, at the same time, I have a ton of crochet and knitting dishcloths that I love. I swear by. But they're so old that a couple literally were falling apart. That's how old they were. And I really need to make some more dishcloths. So I decided to put it in an order. So I got a little bit of a KnitPicks haul. So first I ordered some Dishy. And I love these stripy ones. This colorway, where is it? Blue Twist. And I'm guessing this is, this is jalapeno twist. So yeah, I'm going to make dishcloths with this because I need some desperately. And then while I was on the KnitPicks site, you know, you peruse as you do. And I saw that they had a pattern on there you could purchase through them with the yarn to match a pattern that I have mentioned, I'm pretty sure, on this podcast before. If not, I mentioned it this week. If you follow me on Instagram on my Monday pattern inspiration, I highlighted it. It is a crochet pattern, and it is called the Dandelion Dragonfly Top. And I'll put in a picture. And I just think this pattern is so cute. And so I purchased the kit, which is I digitally got the pattern through Knit Picks. And then I got this yarn. I still wanted it to be yellow because I feel like dandelion, like it needed to be yellow. So I got this. This is Lindy chain. I have never tried this yarn before. So I am interested to try it. This is 70% linen, 30% Pima cotton. Fingering weight. This is 180 yards per 50 grams. And this is the colorway Honey. So I got 2, 4, 6, 7 balls of this. And I'm excited. Again, it's on my ever-growing list of things to make. But I have been eyeing that crochet top for a while. And so I was already buying 2 balls of Dishy. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to grab these Lindy chains here. So yeah, I'm excited to try that yarn out. And that is all for things I got. Yes. All right, so let's get into our last section, and that is goals. So this goals section, I feel, matches my state of mind lately, which is sad. So still going to cover them because I like to, put that out there. Sometimes we have good months, sometimes we have bad months. So for July, my yarn in was a little bit crazy. 17. That makes my total skeins in, whether it be 50-gram balls or higher, full skeins in for the year is 87. I had a yarn out of 5, which makes my total output of 54. I had 1 finished, which we just showed, and 4 cast-ons. My goal for the month was my DVD socks. That was the one goal I reached. And then the rocket tee, which you saw I did make some progress on, but not finished. And the body of my test knit, which I also did not get there. So, August, what are my goals for the month? So, of course, my DVD socks, my test knit, because it is technically due at the end of August, and my retreat shawl, because our retreat for Arkansas Yarn Co. is September 5th. So less than 1 month. I can't even believe that. So September 5th is our retreat. So of course the retreat shawl needs to be done before then. So all 3 of my things are like in my head, I'm saying ticking time bomb. That just doesn't seem right to say that, but that's what it feels like in my head, is like, I have to hurry up. So, yeah, bottom line is I'm really excited to be at the end of August. I know you shouldn't wish your time away like that, but I still have the DVD socks I need to do every month, but the test knit will be over. The retreat shawl, after, beginning of September, this retreat will be over. And I feel like I can just go back to making what I want. That's why I'm trying not to do any more commitments, whether it's design commitments or test knits or anything like that. Because I need the time to just make whatever my hands want to make at the time. So that's where I'm at. This month, I still have goals to get done. And so I really am going to be mainly working on those 3 items to get those done. And we'll see how I do. So yeah, as far as the Make 9, obviously I'm working on the Mizzoni tee. That's the one thing I've added to my list that is currently active. But again, being the year I've had, I'm not worried about that Make 9. I cannot be worried about that Make 9. So, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. For my crafting to still be calming and joyful, I have to not be stressed out about it. So I love goals because goals are always good to have. Even if you don't reach them, then still just move your date out a little bit and continue working toward them. So goals are always good, but don't let them stress you out because that's not worth it. So that is all I have for you this week. So if you got to the end of this podcast, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the kind comments that you put on the podcast. I read every one and I hopefully reply to everyone. I thank you so much for your support. I'm so glad you're here, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.